Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's World Rankings preview, the World Cup is here. There are so many matches. There are going to be so many different movements in the World Ranking. So it's going to be an interesting time at the end of the day. And very, very excited to sort of see how accurate these rankings actually will be, at the end of the tournament, where we then look at who eventually, runs out as the winners. So before we talk about some of the rankings and lots of different things, and if you're a South African fan, good news, because we can, in fact, go to number one in the world, which is very exciting. And no need to do a lot of that actually to actually do it. We're actually very well placed because of us playing such a high-ranked side. So before we sort of go through the world rankings, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to be live for all games over the weekend, including the 1 tomorrow night, the 4 on Saturday, and the 3 on Sunday. So please do come and join us on the watch-alongs and get involved in what is going to be a pretty busy and a weekend of fun, really. It's a World Rugby extravaganza is the World Cup. So let's get into it, shall we? Because there's a lot to get through. Basically, they've gone and given us a whole breakdown on what can happen, as well as the permutations for actually every individual match. So we're going to try and go through this, and hopefully you guys understand. So with Ireland unable to boost their rating with a victory against Romania due to Romania being so low, they could be replaced at the top of the rankings by South Africa, New Zealand, or France this weekend. South Africa stand to gain a maximum of 0.88 points by beating Scotland by more than 15 points, a result which will take them to number one, unless New Zealand win by the same margin against France on Friday. In that scenario, the All Blacks will jump from 4th to 1st with a rating of 93.01 points. They have not been ranked number one since November 2021. For host France to move back to the top for only the second time in history, Le Bleu needs to beat New Zealand and hope Ireland and South Africa fail to win their Pool B matches against Romania and Scotland, respectively. France cannot pick up enough rating points to move to number one if Ireland or South Africa are victorious. It is possible for Scotland to climb to second if they beat the Springboks by more than 15 points. Ireland lose, and the match between France and New Zealand ends in a draw. So obviously Scotland have never been up to seconds, but a lot would have to happen for that to happen. A historic high of 4th will be achieved if Scotland and New Zealand win by small margins. France win by more than 15 points, but also see Scotland climb to 4th in victory. New Zealand will equal their lowest ever rating of 5th if they lose to France by more than 15 points, and Scotland win. Argentina must beat England by more than 15 points in Marseille to climb above a beaten Scotland, whilst having reached an all-time high of 7 with victory over England in their final warm-up match. Fiji can better that this weekend. If they beat Wales, they'll move up to 6th if England versus Argentina ends in a draw. Another permutation which could see Fiji move up to 6th is if they win by more than 15 points and England edge Argentina by less than 15 points. So again, different things, but mathematically can happen. England can gain a maximum of 3 places with the win, but that is dependent on a big scoreline in their favour against Los Pumas and a number of other results going their way. Australia can also gain 3 places with a win by more than 15 points, but that too will be dependent on other results across the opening weekend. Georgia can enter the top 10 for the first time ever since the rankings were introduced in 2003 if they beat Australia in the opener. Australia, who are already at their lowest ranking of 9th, are in danger of falling out of the top 10 altogether if they would lose another game this weekend. A defeat for Wales would send them tumbling out of the top 10 for the first time, whilst Japan are unable to improve their rating because of the difference between them and Chile. If Japan lose, they will slip below Tonga and also Portugal if the margin is more than 15 points. Chile can enter the top 20 for the first time if they beat Japan, depending on the margin of the victory and the outcome of Italy versus Namibia. Romania and Namibia will be rewarded with an improved position if they pull off shock results against Ireland and Italy, respectively. The best Namibia can hope for with the first ever Rugby World Cup victory is a climb of 4th places and a new high, surpassing their previous best of 19th. Whilst Romania's return to the Rugby World Cup stage could, if they can cause one of the biggest upsets in the tournament's history, see them climb as many as 5 places. That's the summary of the various permutations. We're now going to go and look at every individual match in terms of what the points would be, for example. So at the moment, France sitting at 89.22, New Zealand sitting at 89.06. They're currently sitting at 3 and 4, respectively. If France win by 15 points or less, France go to 90.59, New Zealand go to 87, will go down to 87.69. If France win by more than 15 points, they can go up to 91.27. New Zealand will then be at 87. A draw would see France drop down to 88.59, whilst New Zealand would rise to 89.69. Whilst New Zealand win by 15 points or less, would see France drop as low as 86.59, New Zealand up to 91.69, and New Zealand, if they win by more than 15 points, will see France go up to 85.27, and New Zealand up to 93.01. That is the big movement in the top 4. The other game, obviously, within the top 4 and within to see what can happen is South Africa versus Scotland. So, South Africa win by 15 points or more, they can go up to 91.96. And New Zealand can go up to a high of 93. So yeah, even if we beat Scotland by more than 15 points, if England hammers France, they'll go ahead. If New Zealand beat France within 15 points, they go 91.69, and we can go up to 91.67. So New Zealand win, they go to number 1 basically. But if France beat New Zealand, then we can go to number 1 with the win against Scotland. So if South Africa win by more than 15 points, we can go up to 91.96. Scotland to 83.13. Draw would see us go down to 89.67 and Scotland 85.43. By the way, we're on 91.108 points at the moment. Scotland win by more than 15 points would see us drop down to 87.67 and Scotland go up to 87.43. So they'll just be behind us. And if they were to hammer us, they would go up to 89.13, a huge up from 84, again 5 ranking points, whilst South Africa would drop almost over 5 points, going down to 85.96. It all sounds very complicated, but we will be doing a review on Monday where we don't have to sit there and get the calculators out. We'll go and show you what the official rankings are, what has changed, who moved where, and we'll be doing this video before every single match weekend over the World Cup. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below and we'll try and answer them. Apart from that, we'll see you over the weekend for the watch-alongs. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.